Testing. Could this possibly be live? It must be live! And that means one thing. Well, actually, two things. It could be Monday or it could be Saturday. But I'm feeling it's Monday because I got that Monday feeling going on. So, welcome everyone. Car Stereo Talk with your host, me. I'm Dean. This is my co-host or other host. Host with the most, Fernando.
That's right.
Yeah, we're here. We're going to do this thing. Hardcore Q&A. And I'd just like to start out by saying, good evening. What's going on? Hi. Good day. Checking in from Springfield. Hey!
Hello.
Athens. Nice storms. Feels like 98. I was just thinking. Saludos.
Tamaulipas.
Yeah.
Saludos.
What's up? That's a good play on words.
What's up?
I really like that. That was pretty cool. Sup, bro? Lots of 3D printers, and I didn't see any custom sub boxes yet. Why is that? Why is that possible? I actually printed subwoofer boxes as business card holders. One of the first things I printed, they're next door at the in the showroom. That was like literally the first thing I did when I turned on the 3D printer. I was like, I bet you I could make a subwoofer enclosure.
But some people have print subwoofers.
Andy's printing subwoofer enclosures for his car now because he has a large format printer.
Mm-hmm.
So
JT print one.
Yeah.
Brian print one.
So what's up, everybody?
What up?
Kaz did where you had to glue them together. That's a problem. Is they're small format still, so I mean it's like it's way easy. It's too time consuming.
You need like gigantic.
Yeah. It just evening. Hey, evening all.
Hello.
What's going on? Aloha, friends. Hey,
Hello.
What's up? How you doing, Nick? What woofers would you recommend for a Fox Acoustics Nissan Titan 2016 and up? I think I did the P2s in the last one.
I think so.
P2s.
Yeah.
P2s,
P3.
audio controls. P3's too deep. But yeah. So there again, depends on how much power you're going to be running. A lot of the times we're going a little bit more on the efficiency side because I don't want to put a ton of power in there and want to limit my amount of silliness. Very nice. As always. So nice. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
I made it. Saludo. Thank you for joining us. What Toyota and year behind you? What you guys putting in it? This is a 2025 Toyota Tundra, and we're actually just doing a front speaker upgrade in it. That's it. That's all he would like to do. So it's getting some Alpine status speakers. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to know more about it, we did cover it in Instagram. More or less, this is the first one of these we've got in, and it's a kind of a weird install for us, so not much really to talk about on it, because I would have loved to film it, but there's just, it's not much going on. Now, before we get any deeper into this, good day, everyone, and thank you, and we'll come back and we'll check all that stuff out. So if you have questions, we've got answers, so go ahead and get your questions in. Fernando's going to act like he's not paying attention because he's going to be reading the questions and putting little stars next to him. But before we do that, we need to hop over to the laptop because we do this little thing called the 12-volt Clean Wire Club. And on the 12-volt Clean Wire Club, there is the picture of the day or week or whatever it is. You get the header. When you do an amazing job. Mm-hmm. Fernando thinks you did an amazing job. And it's brought to you by us this time.
That's right.
So you can head over to DNF Tool Drawer where you can pick up all the tools that we use in installation as well as a cool keychain. We have the keychain over there as well as the IRTA 2.
That's right.
And if you ordered one, which somebody ordered one and went out today, so they go out quite frequently. Let's pop over to the laptop. We can take a look at this awesome epic system.
That's an epic system.
It is basically an epic system.
Yes.
It is so epic. It looks like it's in a GM, so very epic. Got an epic center. It's an epicenter, I know, but some people call it epic center, and I just don't want them to feel left out. We got a lot of epic amplifiers going on. Do we know who this is?
Mr. Chris.
Yeah.
Chris did this.
Yeah. Is that a 1087 amp rack, or is that just an amp rack?
I don't know.
Looks like just an amp rack.
It looks like just an amp rack. But
yeah.
It's a lot of wiring, you know?
There's a lot of wiring. It looks very nice. If you'd like an amp rack for your next big install, whether it be an F-150 or a Chevy truck, that's really it. Possibly a TRD. Head over to Sounds Good Stereo, where they have these things all set and ready to go onto the 1087. Just like that subwoofer you can't buy unless you're going to buy the subwoofer enclosure. Anyways, thank you so much for being part of that. And hey, that takes us to what I like to call our first sponsor. And that is going to be this guy right here. I'm going to hit this button. And that is Audio Control. If you'd like to build an amazing system like you just saw with an epicenter. Ooh, epicenter. Where did that go?
It's right here.
I was going to say, I feel like it moved. Where? Jesus. Where did you take it? Huh? Where did you take it? I'm going to forget we even got it.
No, it has to
honestly,
it's like,
right? Just in today is the new Epic. Jesus.
Yeah, the Epic.
The new Epicenter Micro Pro. We'll be doing an unboxing on this one here shortly. So we have them here. We got it in. I'm excited. So we'll get to play with this. If you'd like more, head over to audiocontrol.com where you too can pick up and make an awesome system for yourself. On with the show. Hey, I have an Audio Control D61200. I have some 3-ohm speakers. Do I run the risk of burning out the amp, or should I swap out for 2 or 4-ohm speakers and play it? No, you're fine. You're fine. So if we're going to look at this as a hierarchy, okay, we'll say 1 ohm is up here. See my fingers up here. 1 ohm stereo, bad. 2 ohm stereo, good. 4 ohm stereo, good. 3 ohm stereo between 2 ohm and 4 ohm, still good. You're between two goods, so you're fine. Get a little bit more power out of the amplifier, it's perfectly okay. 8 ohm, pointless, so don't even do that. But no, you're fine. 3 ohm, you're not going to burn anything up. You're not going to cause any heartache. You'll be fine. Make sure you got your body glove RCAs. Oh, yeah, so here, check this out. Bobby sent me a picture this morning and of his RCAs that he just got done doing. And he...
oh wow!
He went full.
Yeah,
and
the whole thing. I remember that.
He did the whole thing, and I go. It looks like he got body glove RCAs.
Yeah,
it's like RCAs in a wetsuit.
Yeah.
So very nice. Kicker Key 501 has gain and crossover knob. What do I need these, and what do I do? Okay, so the gain is actually when you read the instructions for the amplifier. Because there's going to be test tones you have to play. One of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to set up the gain knob. And they're going to explain to you, you're going to play the radio at 3/4 volume, and you're going to play their gain match track. And it's a whoo or boy. Anyways, you're going to play that track, and you're going to make sure the light doesn't go on. You're going to keep turning up the gain knob until the light is on. When it's on, you're going to go dial down until it's off. You're going to let it run for a couple times because you need to make sure it does a clean sweep. And that's going to set the voltage output to match the output of the radio with the input sensitivity of the amplifier. So that's what that's going to be for. And next is the crossover. The crossover is there so you can limit the performance of the driver, meaning I don't want my subwoofer playing up to 120 hertz. That would be bad in most cases. So I'm going to turn that down until I find a comfortable place for that to play at. 80 hertz is a really nice number to start with, and you can go up or down from there. And then don't also forget there's a third knob, which is your bass boost, because it does have a 6 dB bass boost centered somewhere in the 40 range-ish, somewhere in there. And that is there, so if you feel you need a little bit more kick in the you can turn that up, and that'll give you a little bit more low impact. So especially if you're hooking up and you've maxed out the amount of de-equalization it can do, you're going to turn that up and get a little bit more on that bottom end. That's so sexy.
Now, if whatever he says right now is like, oh, it's too much information, you can go here on YouTube and 5starcarstereo.com and find this video, how to install Kicker Key 500.1. It's a full video. He's going to explain you everything. Now, the unboxing is right here on the top if you see it. You can watch both of them so you can have a better idea.
I didn't even know we did a video. That's pretty amazing. That's crazy.
It's insane, right?
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So, but that's what they're used for. I like the white gloves in that one. I wonder why we had white gloves on. That's kind of strange.
Cool.
What's up?
What up?
What's up? Old school beer style.
All right.
Okay, you got it. Okay, I'm gonna start this one. Will a good DSP get rid of ANC rumble? No, no, it won't. Not at all. Won't do anything for ANC rumble. It's kind of a bummer, right? Okay, first off, we got to understand what it is in order to figure out how do we get rid of it. So, ANC is kind of been like, think of it as Bluetooth. Like we all know there's different types of Bluetooth, right? There's Bluetooth for this mouse.
This mouth.
There's Bluetooth for this. And there's Bluetooth for that. And there's Bluetooth for my desktop, so I can do. So there's all kinds of Bluetooths, right? And it's just a form factor. And so ANC, thanks to Ford, has just become this automatic. It was automatic noise canceling. Now it's something totally different. Basically, it's just fake engine noise, or it's ANC, which is automatic noise canceling. So there's two different things happening depending on the type of vehicle you have, and sometimes maybe both. Ugh, that sucks. So fake exhaust noise is really the obnoxious one. Okay, so the fake exhaust noise is when you rev up the car and it does all this nonsense, whereas ANC is designed, like a Honda, is designed to listen to the cavity of the car and invert the signal, kind of like noise canceling headphones, just inside your vehicle. It allows the manufacturer not have to put as much sound treatment into the car to make it quiet. It's also annoying as hell. Both of them are annoying. So these are all things that are happening in the signal that a DSP wouldn't even know what to deal with, because like ANC is actually hooked up to the speed pulse of the vehicle. So there's a data wire in the car that as the car goes faster, it starts doing this. When it goes slower, it starts doing this, which is a speed pulse transmission. That's what navigation systems use so they can move with the car properly instead of having to use a satellite. Because sometimes you live in a state where there's long tunnels and you go into the tunnel and it doesn't move, and then you pop out and your GPS moves a mile. So that's how they get around that, is through speed pulse. Speed pulse is also what controls the ANC. So as you go faster or you rev up the engine or more RPMs happen, the noise mimics what's happening in the vehicle. Whereas the automatic noise canceling, as you're driving down the road, if you have the windows down, most of the time it'll shut off because it realizes you've just overloaded and it can read the fact that the window's going down. Whereas fake engine noise wouldn't care if your window rolled down because it's not hooked up to that circuit. That's why when you open the door and you have ANC, fake noise, it'll cancel itself because it knows you open the door and there's no reason to try to kill that noise. And it's like, oh, it's all gone all of a sudden. Close the door and it immediately comes back. Roll the windows down. Some cases it goes away. Roll the windows up and it comes back. So how do we get rid of it? Well, it depends on how it is applicable to your car. Yeah, we'll go with that. It depends on how they put it into the car. Sometimes they use microphones. Microphones are easy because you just go to the microphones and disconnect them, and that solves the problem. Sometimes they use a VSS wire, vehicle speed pulse, that wire we're talking about, like in Chevys, and you just snip that wire or buy a harness that has that wire unpinned from it, and that'll stop it because the car doesn't know it's moving. In case of Dodge is usually into the CAN bus, so there's a disconnect harness for it, and it'll loop it and it'll take it out of the system there. Sometimes, like in a Ford, you can use Forescan, or you can, if you can find a dealer that doesn't suck, you can have them shut it off. Now, the new Chevys, the new 2025 Chevys base models, there's no way to shut it off yet. It's just built into the radio, okay? And so the dealers don't know what it is because they're all stupid. No offense to the dealers. It's just GM doesn't tell them anything. It's just stupid because they don't know, because GM is like, oh, we're not going to tell you guys.
They're not the technicians. It's just the action.
No, the technicians are smart, but GM isn't giving them the information to do it. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean by that. Okay, so just to be fair, I don't want to offend any technicians out there. I'm just saying they don't know, so they can't do anything about it. So, but there's no way to get rid of it. So at low volumes, you hear this little, and as you turn it up, it just goes away because you're masking it with volume. So as we move forward down the road in this wonderful world of BS that we call car audio and ANCs, it's going to get to the point where in some cases we just can't get rid of it. As a case of like the current GM models. We did a 2025 not too long ago, and the customer already knew. He came in and goes, listen, I know you can't do away with my ANC, but I don't care. And we're like, really? He goes, yeah, I don't care. I want subs more than I care about that. I said, all right, cool. And sure enough, at low volumes, you can hear a little rumble, rumble, rumble. And yeah, now what would be really cool, like a way that the manufacturers might be able to get around it, like at low volumes like that, is being able, like for example, maybe a noise gate. So like Brad at Arc Audio, they have a noise gate that can detect when there's no music playing, it automatically mutes the signal. So maybe they could apply a noise gate, some form of technology in a noise gate that knows when the, let's say, the high frequencies stop playing, because there would be no high frequency playing at zero, and then it would just mute the output because it would just hear the rumble, rumble, rumble. And maybe they could modify a noise gate to do something like that at low volumes, to where, like, so when you're driving with the stereo all the way down, you don't hear the that might be possible. I'm sure no one has thought of that. Brad's watching, so he might come up with it and go, hey, well, that's not a bad idea. But that's why a DSP really can't get rid of this stuff, because it's in the signal. So this is going to be the one thing that screws us. We have two things in the world that are difficult right now. One is some form of this ANC makes it very hard, because there's nothing we can do with it sometimes. And two is going to be voltage, such as like Tesla's 48 volts, 24 volts, 16 volts. Tony D'Amore and his little contraption is a good start in the direction. You got haters and you got lovers. I'm a lover. But hopefully it'll push other manufacturers to come up with different styles of solutions for that. But the ANC is always going to suck. So anyways, there we go. Does the LC7i Pro and the Epicenter do the same thing? Hell no, not even close. An Epicenter is a harmonic restoration device, and what you're talking about is Accubase. Accubase in the LC7i, in the LC5i, and on the LC2i, all Pro, even the LC2i non-Pro, Accubase is designed to interface with loudness. So loudness, aka bass roll off, is when you turn up the volume and you get to a certain point and the bass doesn't get any louder. It's like you turn in the highs will still continue to creep up there, but there's no more bass. And what is happening is the radio has loudness built into it. And loudness is designed to roll off the far extreme treble and the far extreme bass as you turn the volume up. Now, the treble isn't noticed as much because the mid-range still keeps going up. So most people don't realize that the tick is also not getting any more tickier, because they can just turn the treble up on the radio and it's like, oh, it's ticky again. But the sub is really noticeable. So Accubase is designed to fix the roll-off. So if you look at it as a plateau, like, as you're turning it up and it just stops, Accubase would then be, okay, it's really hard to do. Accubase would allow you to dial it into that spot in the voltage where it stops and keep going up. Okay, so you have a slight pause and then the bass just gets louder, hopefully in correlation with the volume. Epicenter is not designed to do that. Epicenter does what's called an octave shift, meaning it takes energy from a higher frequency and moves that energy to a lower frequency in the music. So, for example, if you're listening to like 80s rock music or 70s rock music or banda music or something that doesn't have an impactful sound, just got a ton of mid bass, well, an Epicenter will take all that energy that's in that higher bandwidth and move it an octave. So if you have a lot of energy at 80 hertz, it'll move it to 40 hertz. Get my point. And then and as you turn the effect dial up, it will just make that music start to fill in that low end. This is good in a situation because there's also we're talking all automotive problems here today. So there's two types of problems with the output of a factory radio. One is what Accubase fixed, which is bass roll off or loudness, and the other one is high pass filtering. So the other day when we were at Mobile Solutions and we had the truck there was a high pass filter, a 24 dB high pass filter at 45 hertz. Okay, now think about that. Meaning when it went to 45 hertz, it went 24 dB down. Like, whoa, there was no bass there. Luckily, the woofers we put in had a peak, a rise at the same point. So we had tons of energy there, which was wonderful. Now, if I were to put an Epicenter in there, I could tune the Epicenter down low, and when it sees those frequency plays, it will fill in that whole gap, okay, and make it boomy again, okay? So Epicenter really becomes very helpful now for factory stereos. Now, some people complain that it gives you an unnatural-like sound, and it's like, okay, well, so have no bass then. I want bass. I like Epicenters. Okay. Wow, two big questions, man. I feel like I need a break. Hi, Marty. Just go out there.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm just gonna screw this. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. I'm just gonna go. Oh, Chris Veer's in the house. What's up, Chris? Dave Cos says hello. I was just thinking about Dave Cos. Let's take a quick pause here. Because you know what time it is?
What time?
No, not the physical time. I meant the actual time it is right now.
What?
It is the awards time again. The awards just started this week. So it's the pre-nomination for the awards. Yes. Okay. So installer of the year, retailer of the year, sales guy of the year of the year, dude of the year, best, most popular dude of the year, both sales and install. Anyways, all of the years have just started.
Yeah.
And of course, we all want Dave to win installer of the year because like he's killing it.
Yeah. So he's making his video now?
Probably not. Let's hope somebody else is making the video for Dave.
Listen, he has to make a video.
No, he has to make a video, but I'm hoping somebody else does it for him. And he just stars in it. You know, just Dave.
Austin, just help him out.
Well, of course he would.
Yeah.
Austin should run. He could probably make it in the top 10, top 50. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's that time of the year again. So if you're interested, if you're in the industry and you want to run, definitely get to it. Start planning your video. If not, start shooting your video. Hope you've put content together and run. You know, get into the top 50, get into the top 100.
Take the video and run.
Yeah, take the video and run.
Yeah.
You know, we did the sales guy thing last year. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We did it. I only wanted to do it this year, bro. No, God, no. I accomplished everything I wanted to do. I wanted to make it into. I only wanted to make it into the top 20, and I ended up making it into the top 5.
Yeah.
That's good for me. That's above what I wanted to do. So I don't want to do it.
You gotta go.
No, I don't. You gotta go. I don't have to do shit.
All right, so next question.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Good call. Haha. So Titan Motoring posted a video on a new Cadillac they did. A ton of amps and subs and retained ANC. Do you have any idea how that was done? We were just talking about Dave Cos, the guy that's actually doing it. Possible recalibration of the system after the install. So this is an interesting question, and believe it or not, we were talking about it today, Chris. And so at some point I'll talk to Dave about it. But in my head, I was thinking of what a possible way for this is. And there again, there's a lot of things that they're trying to keep in this particular vehicle where an Amp Pro just wouldn't make sense. And one of those is if you're going is percentages, right? There again, I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't even know if he knows if it's going to work or not. So it's one of those things. But I look at it like this. Okay, so if the system, let's say if you have a 15-watt system, right? Everything's 15 watts, maybe 30 watts on the sub. And you move up in a parallel section to where you go, okay, we're going to go to 100 watts and, okay, triple the power or quadruple the power. We're going to do the same on the subwoofers. Technically, you're going to keep everything within the same amount of energy, meaning that everything should be like on the volume as far as the volume concerned. It should all track, right? Because it's all going to be played. So a lot of times what happens and why like exhaust noise is so prevalent is because the subwoofers get up here and the mids and highs don't change, okay? So it notices that balance problem. So one of my idea, there again, I don't know how right I am, I'm going to talk to Dave and find out, is that as long as we keep everything playing at the same level, I'm assuming the ANC should do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will have a video posted later. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But I mean, to me, that was the only thing I could think of that would allow that to do that. As long as we keep everything in tandem, it should work. So, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. And Austin works with Dave. So that's why Dave, super Austin. Stone cold Steve
Super Austin, yeah.
Yeah, anyways. Hey, from Sound Effects. What's up, Gary? You're on the point. Yeah, see? So there you go. And there again. That is the goal. You're on point. And that was my thing. It was the only thing that made any sense to me is that you'd be doing that. So, and technically that should work, but we're going to find out. So, hi guys, your video gives inspiration and makes ourselves better quality of sound. Keep the good work up. Totally planning on doing it.
Thank you so much for watching because you guys, if it's not for you guys, you know.
It's so Chris Vera being chatty as he is. Hold on. Sorry, we'll come back to that one. Sorry. It's wild because it just changed speakers in 2024 Grand Wagoneer and the ANC was freaking with the speaker swap. Yeah. No, I could see that for sure. Yeah, you were complaining about that. Okay, please explain to me. No. How to wire into a 2012 Toyota Tundra JBL system, the front having a three-way and the looped three-way. If I want to use the OME wiring, I still need to pull a new wire into the dash. Correct. Okay, so 2014 Tundra factory amplifiers up underneath the driver's passenger front seat. Now, there are plenty of people that make an amplifier bypass for this. iData makes one that is fantastic because they make an interface to retain the factory radio, which is done by swapping out the JBL amplifier in the seat. So if you need a T-harness for this, you're definitely going to want to check out and get it from iData, and it'll just be for the AR to go into it. You don't need the AR, you just need the T-harness. Now, at some JBL systems, no, there is absolutely no need to run a tweeter wire because the tweeter one, it's all active. So some of the JBL systems are 100% active. Now, it's a 2014. I don't know which year that happens at, but some of them are full active. That's why you get the T-harness to go up underneath the seat.
Test it.
Now, if it is where you tone it and the mid-range and the tweeter play at the same, then yes, you're going to put the jumper in, which you can get from Metro, at the dash. Okay, so that you're going to run new wires to the dash. So you're going to put the jumper.
You have the harness and the aftermarket.
Yeah. So we put the jumper in the dash because running wires up to the dash to the mid-range is a hell of a lot easier than running wires into the door to the tweeter. It sucks. So we put the jumpers in and that's it. So hopefully that explains it. That's what we're doing in this Toyota. Quick question. Okay, hold on. Before I answer this, let me just pull up some Focal here because it's time to swap the Focal. This next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Focal. If you'd like an easy-to-fit solution for your next install, check out Focal. We talked about this earlier today where we were talking about tweeters that fit because we're putting tweeters in this car that will definitely not fit in most applications because it's like a fish. Anyways, it's huge. But one of my favorite tweeters that 9 times out of 10 will drop right into place is the Focal Flax tweeter. It is small, it is compact, it is sexy, and it'll drop into that factory location, which is nice because sometimes mounting the tweeter is one of the hardest things you could do. If you'd like to know more about Focal, head over to focal-america.com and check out the lineup of speakers, and one of them, I guarantee you, will be right for you. A quick question. I have a 2021 Jeep JL, non-amplified, with the Rockford DSR1. My question with the Maestro T-harness, what should my input switch be on? High or low? It will go into my amp. Okay, so it's a 2021 Jeep JL. You're going to put an iData Maestro in it, and you're going to reflash. It's non-amplified. So the nice thing is, when you flash the radio, they're going to tell you what to do it. But if my memory serves properly, you leave that one in the high level, which means I'm going to get it wrong. And there again, you can't get it wrong. Like if you put it in high level and it's a screechy loud, you flip the switch to low level and that's over. Now, the more important thing is where are you going to put it? That's the kicker, okay? So Rockford, in their system, they like to put it behind the passenger front speaker using the factory bracket location, which means if there's ever a problem, you have to pull out the passenger front speaker, which means you got to pull out half the dash. Not the greatest of ideas because every now and then you need to get to your DSR1. A better place to mount it is up in the driver's kick.
Right behind the speaker.
Right behind the speaker. There's plenty of room to mount it right up against the side there. The wires will all reach, and that way, if you do accidentally set it for high level, it needs to be low level, no problem. You stick your head in there and you go, click. Okay? That's the most important thing when doing that. The other bit of information I'll get you is you're going to, when you flash the DSR1, you're going to do it on a Windows computer, also download the DSR1 updater. Okay? Now, if you put it in and you notice that there's any problems with the DSR1, like it's doing weird things, roll the software back one step. Okay, so I think it's like 9.4 point whatever. Go back one version of it. 9 times out of 10, that'll fix every problem it has. We run into that quite a bit to the point now where I actually just roll it back to the previous version of the software because it's kind of sucks. Other than that, Go to town.
Love your question, guys. Thank
Those
you
are
so
your
much for
nuggets.
everything.
Hello to Dan Bauman. I was with him in the New Jersey days. We also
He also turned him on into the Morel
602 to the
602s, the
Lates.
Lates.
Yeah.
Still going strong after 15 years.
Very nice. Yeah.
The Lates.
Dan's going crazy, man. He's going all over the place now.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got him on when we did.
And
we could say we knew him when.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the new chop saw miter saw for? And I love a good large disc sander, most often used tool in my shop. So we've always had a chop saw located there. This one is the Cobalt sliding chop saw, so we can get a little bit more out of it. So we were finding at times, instead of using the table saw to cut like a 5 or 6 inch piece, because it can wobble a little bit, you just have a chop saw and kind of do the radial arm saw kind of thing. The one thing we found is that sliding saws suck with a capital S for ABS. They do not like cutting ABS at all. Doesn't matter. Doesn't like it. It's very strange because the same blade
finger hurts, bro.
The same blade. It's just from it throwing. The same blade is in our panel saw, and it's fine over there. But in this, no. And you'd say, oh, maybe put it in backwards. Didn't put it in backwards. It just doesn't like that form factor. But no, it was new. It was cute. But the disc sander, I love a 12-inch disc sander. Like, honestly, if you're doing any form of anything, the 12-inch disc sander is the end-all, be-all.
Love it.
So, yeah, because, the only thing, that's from the cheap tool store. The only thing that sucks is it doesn't have a brake. So it, like, when you shut it off, it just sits there and goes forever, which actually comes in handy sometimes because, like, when you just need to do some really simple sanding, you'll fire it up and let it go to speed, and then you'll shut it off and let it slow down a little bit, and then you just do some light sanding.
I like it.
Like, it almost needs a potentiometer on it, which we probably have somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, moving on.
All right.
Hope you guys are doing well. Any advice on installing a Rockford DSR-1 and a 2017 Tacoma with the original radio? Rockford Fosgate, it's a series and two. Okay. So, it's 2017 Tacoma. First off, I'd be buying a radio for a 2017 Tacoma because you can put one in it, and that factory radio sucks. Okay, it's trash. It's garbage. It probably has CarPlay or Android Auto. That's not the reason why I get it. It just sucks. Now, if you want to do time alignment, this is the key. If you're wanting to do time alignment, the DSR-1 is going to have a hard time doing that because it has no de-equalization capabilities. So what I would do is I would put a kicker key lock in front of it off of channels 1 and 2, just the front 2 channels. I would run those into my DSR-1. I would DEQ the system, get it as flat as possible, and then run that into channels 1 and 2 on my DSR-1 and use channels 1 and 2 on my DSR-1 to feed all 8 channels in the input mixer of the DSR-1. That would allow me to get a nice clean input into the DSR-1, do time alignment, and all that other fun stuff. Now, if you have no intentions of doing time alignment, then that's fine. Just fine. You can run your input. You get the T-harness for that from PAC or Metra. Both make a T-harness that'll easily plug into the back of the radio and give you outputs that can go into the DSR-1. I even think iData makes a T-harness for that particular application as well. Now, like I said, personally, I'd be thinking about getting a new radio. That would solve 100%. All your issues and make life so much better. But that's how I would do that install.
And get better features for sure.
I have a question about the kicker key lock. I installed the kicker key 200.4 in bi-amp mode and a kicker 500.1. Was wondering if I could install the key lock to the 200.4 to the front channel tweeter and help with time alignment. I have a 2024 Honda CR-V done amplified. So, this is one of the. So I'm not just going to say yes because it depends on what the problem with time alignment you're having are. So, and the other thing too is really need to test to see if the Honda has all-pass filters or delay between right and left. If it has those, then yes, the key lock will fix that. That's what that is what our IRTA2 was made to test for. 2 channels of RTA, meaning we sum the 2 channels, we can see where the problems are. Now, a key lock can fix that. So if you're like, I'm just going to run the gamut and give it a try, it's $130. Yeah, if it does, great. Now, depending on what the problem is with the 200.4, meaning if it's off to the driver's or passenger side one way or the other, and it stays in that problem zone. Like what I find most of the time is that it's off to the passenger side, just a little too far. Always off to the passenger side, just a little bit too far. If it's doing that and it always stays there and it's flipping annoying, there's actually a much simpler solution. What you do is you take your fader control and you fade it till you fix it. Okay, so for example, if it's off to the driver's side, fade it to the passenger side, and then it's perfect. If it's off to the passenger side, fade it to the driver's side. Oh, that's perfect. Now what you do is you go, okay, cool. So if I move it 2 clicks to the driver's side or 1 click to the driver's side, that fixes it. What you do then is you put it 2 clicks to the opposite direction and you run the sweep again. And then you put it back at 0. And guess what? You've just done an analog fix for a digital problem. That'll put your center back where it belongs. You can also do that with the bass, mid, and treble. If for some reason you're having to turn your treble up, like I typically find it's kind of soft on the treble, I usually like 1 click up. So when I set mine up, I'll put the treble 1 click down. So when I go back to 0, it's a little hotter. So that's an analog way to fix that. Super easy. So as long as it's staying in the problem zone all the time. Now, if it wobbles back and forth across the dash, then that's probably a clear indicator that you have some form of an all pass or some form of delay, in which case the key lock will fix that. We're good. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Bring up the next one. We're just like writing books tonight.
Yeah, nice.
Hello, what's up, Eduardo? Sup, Angel?
Everybody.
Hi, I have a single P212D4 and my amp at 2 ohms. Oh, that makes sense. Won't give it enough power like it would if I ran a channel per voice coil 4 ohm. What's your thoughts on this until I get a bigger amp? Okay, so 2 ohm stereo, 4 ohm stereo and 2 ohm mono is the exact same amount of power from an amplifier. So if you have an amplifier that puts out 35 and 35, okay, and then you bridge it to 2 ohm, it's going to put out 70 watts. It's the same amount of power, most applications. Now, if for some reason your amplifier doesn't do that, let's say for some reason it's 4 ohm 50 watts, 4 ohm 50 watts, and 2 ohm is like 70 watts for some stupid reason, like could be, well then yeah, run it 4 ohm stereo, you'll get 100 watts. So, but technically this should always be the same amount of power. It shouldn't matter. Like that doesn't even make sense. But hey, I have no idea.
What up, brother? How you doing?
The one and only. Is that Juan?
That's the one and only.
Is that the Juan?
That's the one.
I need a drink. And I need to change the
yeah.
Let me change this too. It's the summer of Moto. Hey guys, are you headed out to Sturgis, North Dakota or South Dakota? Dakota. We'll just call it the Dakotas because I really don't know where it's at.
In Dakota, really?
It's in the Dakotas. If you're headed out to Sturgis, that means you got a motorcycle, and that means you're going to go out there and do crazy things. And if you're going to go out there and plan on getting a stereo, okay, that's cool. But it's more better to have your stereo up and running before you get there. You still got a couple weeks. You got a week. Okay, but it's like 4 weeks long, so who knows when you're going. You still got time. Head over to your ARC Audio dealer, get a full Moto system put into your Harley. That's right, you got a brand new Harley? No problem. They got the converter. They got the full package. You can put the Moto amp right in there and rock on. Plus, they got some of the loud, just super sexy sounding Moto speakers. Screw those valves. Sound like this. And, pick up the Moto line of speakers and keep that clarity. Keep that sex appeal. Ooh, yeah. Want a DSP? They got a micro DSP that'll go right in there. They got everything. Hit them up at arcaudio.com. Oh, look at her with the Buenos Tardes 5-star people.
Buenas tardes.
Yeah. Ugh. I put a new screen protector on my phone this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
Because it was cutting my fingers. I know these are tough, but your recommendation for a 2023 Bronco non-BO integration front stage DSP amp sub 3K on equipment.
Oof.
Okay, it's actually not as bad as you'd think. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So what you want to do is, we're going to come back to this, but you're going to pick yourself up a Pico. Okay. So you can pick up a Pico 6 to 8. Okay. 6 to 8 or an 8 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
Little guy. So here's the deal. The non-BO systems are SB amplifiers. Okay. Now you go, what is SB amplifier? It's not A, it's not D, it's not G, it's not H,
Yeah.
It's SB. It's a dual stage amplifier that needs a different load of resistance. Some people say you can throw a 10 ohm load resistor on there, and you can. Sure, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like an amplifier that just does all that stuff for you, which I'm a big advocate of, well, there's two that do. They have Helix, and you have Moscone. Moscone being a part of the show that they are, and I love them so much. There's one right there and a whole line of them up there. Anyways, you can check out the Pico, little tiny sexy guy. That'll go right into that little cool subwoofer location on the side. The 6 to 8 is great if you want to just power the mids and highs. If you want to go higher, the 8 channel has staggered power, so you can power like a sub on the back door. Audio control makes the really nice tailgate subwoofer that you can put on there. Some people just downfiring. It depends on what kind of top you have, really, is what it comes down to, and how paranoid you are. Because you could put a P300 in there with the 6 to 8 if you have a hard top on it and you're not going to be doing anything silly in it, and that would be fine. The amplifier is built into it. It's very cost effective to do something like that. T-harness you can get from pack-audio.com. And the nice thing is what that SB compatible amplifier is doing is that's the load resistance that we're talking about. We need a specific load for the SB amplifiers to see, and that is built into both of those brands of amplifiers. Now, as far as speakers that are reasonable that you could probably put in there, there's a ton of them to choose from. Now, when we do it, we just kind of get picky choosy, but 4-inch in the top of the dash is going to be fantastic. Morel makes a bunch of different 4-inch. They work really well on the top of that dash. The problem comes to the mid bass and the kick. You don't want a coaxial. You want a mid bass. And the problem is most people don't sell mid bass a la carte. So you want to look at something a la carte mid bass, which is probably good. Arc Audio has the new A series 6-inch mid bass. You could team it up with that 4. Now, another thing that everybody likes to do in the Bronco, which I still don't understand, is put 6s in the rear. Screw that. Okay, it's dumb. It's a waste of your time. I said it. You can, you know where to find me. Just put another 4 in there and call it a day. The boxes are small and lanky. It's already actively crossed over at 110 hertz. So, I can go in and I can use 4 stands. Yeah, there's a reason why it's crossed over that high, because the enclosures are too small to get anything else out of it without the enclosures buzzing and rattling and stuff like that. So just putting a 4 in there is perfectly fine. It's going to do exactly what you're going to need. Because, typically I'm crossing it over at 110 hertz anyway. So it's already done for me. I don't have to worry about it. Boom, just like that. So no reason to go with the 6.5 in the rear. What I will say is you want to put some sound treatment into the kick panels. All the sound treatment needs to be in the kick panels. You need to do that whole front plastic panel. You need to do inside of the cavity there. Okay, that's where it sucks the most. The other thing is, and there again, people argue with me on this. It must just be the speakers they're using, but we typically find we have to make the brackets for the kick panels. And not use the ones from Metra. Some people have said, oh, no, they work fine. I've yet to put a pair of speakers in there. That bracket is yours, worked fine. We always make our own. You just need ones that are 1/2 inch thick. So I think Sounds Good might even sell one of those for their Ford stuff. So you can probably pick up a set of theirs and call it a day. Because I think it's the same spacer they put in the rear of the F-150. So you can probably pick up a set of Sounds Good spacers for that instead of the Metra ones. I don't know if that's around $3,000, but that's going to be it's probably not. But there again, you could also take it in stride. So it's a beautiful vehicle. You might end up spending more than that, but that would be a really nice small system to go in there and sound really good with the DSP. Hey, Dean and Nando. Any recommendations for a soldering iron? Is 100 watts worth it, or 40 watts? I want the biggest soldering gun I can get my hand on. If you go to DNF Tool Drawer, go to DNF Tool Drawer real quick. This would be spam calling. And me not putting my phone in quiet mode.
I'm sure.
I know, that was totally a rookie move.
All right.
I will do it now because it's too late. Go to Power Tools, maybe? Because it is a power tool. Could be. Yeah, look at that. Power Tools. Boom. What a guess. If you head over to DNF Tool Drawer, right here, this guy, this is the soldering iron we use. And you click on it, it'll take you right out to Amazon where you can pick one up. That's the one we use at our desk to do everything. If you want something that's portable, obviously if you're a Makita guy, you can get the Makita one, which has been rebuilt now. I'm sorry, the Milwaukee one, which is now rebuilt. They're on version 2, which hopefully means it sucks a little less. Or you can head out to Martin Enterprises?
I don't know.
Martin Tools? I don't know.
Where do you have it?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's over here.
Is it over there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah, Martin Tools. Martin Tool Company?
Yes. Martin?
You can head over to martintoolcompany.com, and there you can pick up the... Ooh, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it appears in a big show, a big screen.
See, I have the red rubber grip on it.
Yeah, nobody has that one?
Nobody has this one.
Ooh.
I got it when I was in Canada. So they all come black, but he's going to have rubber grips for them. It's obviously, it's a battery. It's not the stuff.
It's worth it.
It's
if
totally
you
worth it. I'm gonna
solder a lot of stuff.
Yeah, leave that on my bench
because
I need to swap that.
So
I think the RVDFL also offers it. I wouldn't doubt it, Lance. Hey, Lance, how you doing?
How you doing?
Seems how Marty and Rich are like buddies, like on very close buddies.
Yeah,
almost awkwardly close buddies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, so hang on. I had this one.
Sorry, I didn't mention that I had upgraded the 2017 Tacoma radio to a 2023 OM radio. Do you still recommend a key lock? 100%. Oh, God, yes. Yeah, for sure. You have
still the same radio.
It's actually worse.
Yeah.
So, way to go. But no, totally want the key lock. So Toyota has been doing nonsense to their signals forever, ever.
You would change the radio?
They were doing it back in the 90s,
yeah.
Okay? We just didn't know because, guess what? We didn't have time alignment to have it cause us a problem. We just thought, hey, Toyota's cool. But no, so you definitely need that. Have you had any issues with the Blackbird RC input harness? Mine seems too loose connection. Okay, so I'm going to solve all your issues on this one. I don't use that. Oh, I took them away. I make my own harnesses. So when we do a Blackbird, we don't ever use their RCA harness. So you can go to DigiKey and get a new one, or you can just go on to Amazon and you can buy a whole little kit here. Male and female connectors, the white set. It's the white album. It comes with all the little pins and everything. We custom make all our RCA inputs for the Blackbirds. So any amplifier that has a plug for RCAs is screaming for me not to use it, because then I can just make RCAs cut the length, which is what I do. So this is what you need, Chris. And they're cheap. They're like cheap, like $5, not even $5. Also, have a key 200.4 hooked up bi-amp. Did we already read this one? Oh no, bi-amp mode to RCA to aftermarket crap head unit. And amp turns off intermittently and turns back on. Check all power ground volts fine. Could it be signal?
Maybe low resistors?
No, because it says it's an aftermarket crap head unit. So, all right. So there's a couple of things that could be causing the issue with the key. The first thing is make sure that you have the switch set to DC and not signal. So it's like the first switch on there is the DC, which means you're going to run a remote turn on into it. Make sure it's hooked up to that. Secondly, if it is hooked up to that, I would switch from the remote turn on from the radio. Just hook it up to the red accessory wire in the harness. That way you're getting a turn on from the car and not the radio. because there could be something wrong with the remote turn-on output of the radio. Now, if for some reason you have that turned off, it's going to be looking at signal sense. That would cause a bunch of issues, lots of issues. Their FIT2 circuit is going to be confused. But that would be where I would look first. Have zero gauge and splitting to a key and a little 400 watt amp. The base will stay on. Weird. So if the base is staying on, that has to do with the remote turn on. So understanding how a kicker key works is really important. So on a key 200.4 or a 500.1, it really doesn't matter. If you have it set to 12 volt input on the key, so like you're using a dedicated remote turn on, okay, then it'll act like a turn on. If you have it set to anything else, it is no longer a turn on. It is an output. It's going to turn things on. So if you have, like, some people will have it different, and they'll run a remote from the car, so like hook it up to accessory, and then they'll hook it up to the key thinking it needs it, and then the key will hook up to their other amp. And basically what you created is this big circle of, like, the key is actually now going to power up everything, because it doesn't care if there's voltage coming in. It's not looking for it. It's actually putting voltage out. So it'll keep that whole circuit on if it needs to. So it could be doing weird things. So like when we do high level on the 500.1, we will turn that feature off because we'll use the key 200.4 to turn on the 500.1. So we can turn on and off the DC offset or FIT circuit so that it doesn't do that over the high level input. So that could be causing all the weird remote turn on problems with the key lock.
He's not using DC offset. It only does it like once or twice a week.
No, it's fine, but there again, if that, I would hook it up to, in the case of that, try not, make sure it's on 12 volt. Try not to use the remote turn on. Try to hook it up to accessory. It's all crazy. Dean, what do you think of Resonex RCAs? I have yet to try them, Daryl. Questions. I have a Kenwood DMX 1057 head unit. I was wondering if the DSP in that was adequate, or should I get an audio-controlled DM810? So adequate is a funny question, right? Because that's tough. Because a DM810, even DM810 is several levels above what a 1057 is going to do. But a 1057 does quite a bit, and depending on your level of expertise, might do enough. So if I'm putting in a 1057, depending on the system, chances are I'm not selling a DSP because I have a 1057. So unless I'm going to go like in a full active system, so for example, like if I do a 1057 and we do like an 803.5 and we do like 6903s, which is 3.5s in the dash, 6x9s in the door, and then, I don't know, maybe some 174s in the rear coming off of the radio, I probably won't do a DSP because I have enough control between the level control of my 5-channel amp on my front 4 speakers and all the stuff that's packed into it with the parametric EQ and the 13-band EQ and the time alignment and all the fun stuff that's in there, where I don't think I need a DSP for that basic of a system. Now, if I'm doing a 3-way full active set, oh yeah, we need a DSP. Because it's gonna need it, but maybe not. It's up to you. But there is a ton of stuff packed into it. Now the DM810, there again, still it's a lot of DSP. It's a lot of DSP. It is one of the easier DSPs to use though. But don't go looking for problems unless you actually have it. RAM 1500. I have been fighting for volume at my high end. I noticed the installer set the Amp Pro low volume at -60 dB. I bumped it to 0 dB and it helped. What do you normally set the low volume at? I honestly just leave it for whatever the factory setting is. I don't think I've ever gone in and tried to adjust it. We did it that one time, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up, that wasn't in a Dodge though, it was in something else, and it totally went crazy. And we were like, this is stupid. So we ended up just resetting it back to factory and
as a
leaving it
factory
alone.
default. Yeah.
So we always just keep it at whatever the factory default is. Other than that, I've never touched it ever. Most of the time, though, we probably do toss link out to a DSP amplifier, and we go with that, which would be even lower depending on the amplifier. So probably not the best suggestion there. Also replaced the rear speakers in the Tundra, but they wouldn't play with the factory tweeter unplugged. I'm guessing when I replaced the factory amp, this wouldn't be. No, there's a bypass harness that you can get.
Same thing.
Yeah,
for the rears.
Yeah, bypass harness you can get to loop the tweeter through, and that will solve that.
Because all the signal goes to the tweeter, so you have to loop it to go to the mid bass.
So it's like Metra sells it. It's a cheap harness. It's $10. You plug it in, and you're done. And that'll allow that to loop through. Even if you kept the only way to make that work is to put the loop harness on it. Now back to the RAM. Yeah, that's a tough one. I got nothing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. I tried. Do fuse holders under the hood need to be waterproof? Ooh, that's a good question. No, they don't. They don't need to be waterproof. And we know this because we've had people put in some really bunk-ass fuse holders over the years that have been in there for a really long time, and they're not waterproof. And most waterproof fuse holders aren't that good. So they're, it's waterproof. No, it's not. No, but you want to mount it up high, up in the engine cavity. Most of the time, the fuses are made out of things that don't rust. So you really don't have to worry about it. And we live in the rust state of Florida where everything is salt water. So, yeah, we don't have any problems with that. So I wouldn't worry about it. Now, the only time you have to worry about that is in a boat. Okay? And a boat needs a certain kind of fuse. It needs a specific kind of fuse called an ignition-safe fuse. And actually, it's a sealed fuse. And it's not sealed because of water. It's sealed because of gas. So the ignition-safe fuses are these little cool square things, okay, that are totally sealed. And when they blow, the blowing happens inside of this airtight box so that if there's gas in the engine compartment or wherever the fuse is at, it won't blow up your boat. That's why it's called ignition-safe, meaning point of ignition as opposed to like car ignition. So that's really the only time you got to worry about that. Is it time? I mean, I could. All right, so I'll pull this guy up here and go, it's time for Moscone. We talked about earlier, Pico, small, sexy little amplifiers. They do make their big brothers, like this guy right here and these guys up here that are so sexy. Those are the pros. Just head over to Moscone-America.com. That makes some very nice. Very nice. Okay. I don't know what else to say. 2025 Ram bass audio, currently WaveTech amp and sub tapped to front door sub signal. Would I benefit by adding a key lock in front of the amp? Thanks. We just did one of these.
What?
We did one of these not too long ago.
2025 Ram?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amplifier and a sub tap.
So technically, yes. However, this is where the fun part comes in because I don't know if I would do a key lock or if I'd do the Epicenter Micro Pro.
So we did the kicker.
Yes. So we did a kicker LX.
LX 500.1
no, it was the 800. It was the 850.
850, whatever it is.
Yes, it was 850.1, and it has aftershock.
High level input and all that stuff. Yep.
So I get it. So it is going to have a high pass filter built into it on the subwoofer section, 100%. And the key lock will try to bring most of that back. And if you're really like, pins and needles trying to get really accurate bass, that might be a really good way to do it. However, it's a pickup truck. Accurate bass in a pickup truck, those two words typically make me laugh, okay? Because you jam some subs underneath the seat and you hope that it puts out a ton of bass. I personally think the Epicenter, that's the Micro Pro, would be a much better way to spend your money, because if you're having trouble getting deep, just thunderous bass, that's what that will do for you. So I would go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, what's Melissa saying? She says, cut to the chase. You can get a 7903L and then take the 7903 and make your own very easy. Yes, that's how we used to make T-harnesses. For sure.
Really?
Yeah. So 70 and 71, 70 was, one way, and 71 would plug into the back of the radio. And so you'd buy a 70 and a 71, which we used to stock both, and that's how we would make T-harnesses back in the day. And that's why when that douchebag says, "Oh, I'm the original T-harness manufacturer,"
it's like you guys
and we
copy.
We would.
You guys copy.
Back in the '90s, we would copy that guy who wasn't even in business yet. So, sure. What is the level of effort to upgrading a 2022 CRV? How many channels of DSP input does it need to get full range signal mixed together? So, Craig, the first question I have before I answer this is it the premium audio system in there? Because if it is, you're not mixing anything together to get anything. You're just going to go active into a DSP and call it a day. Because it's an upmix signal and you need to retain certain things. So you're not summing together. If it's just a base audio system, there again, you have a front and a rear. At that point, it's super simple. You just put any DSP in there that has DSP EQing. So it really just depends. If it's a premium audio CRV, then you have a center channel, you have tweeters, you have mid bass, then you have the same in the rear, and you have a sub. Minimum you need is 6 channels of input, because you have to retain the center channel, the tweeter, the mid-range, and the subwoofer. The rears you can then set up in your DSP to feed off of what you got from the front. But if it's just, like I said, 4-channel front and rear, then it's no big deal. Now, if it's a 5-channel, to where you have, or I'm sorry, if it's rear, but if you just have no center, tweeter, mid-range, subwoofer, it depends on the vehicle, because it could just have subwoofer out of the radio, meaning no center. It could just be sub out of the radio, and then you just need, you pull the radio out, and it's only going to be front, rear, and sub. So that's 5 inputs. So you just, there again, only need something that's 6 inputs. So, yeah. It's actually one of the easier cars.
Which one?
The Hondas. All right, what is going on? Okay, so any success with replacing just speakers in an F-150 BO Unleashed and adding a sub? No. A la behind the seat. No. Not replacing the speakers. The speakers are going to suck no matter what. But if you want a sub to go behind the seat, obviously Sounds Good has that. And they can sell you stuff for that. Depending on the year. Because some of the new ones, they've changed the back wall. But no, if you want it to sound better, you got to change the speakers. I'll go on there. Our house just flooded. Oh, wow. Our house just flooded, so this week has been hell. Damn.
So sorry.
That sucks.
Crazy. Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. On an amp, what would be your recommendation on crossovers, low pass, high pass, or full? Which one would you choose for better sound? Is this a part 2 or is this a part 1?
What's that?
So, okay, LPF stands for low pass filter. HPS stands for high pass filter. And full means no filter at all. Now, a low pass filter is typically for a subwoofer. So if you, let's say, have a 4-channel amplifier and you're running front and rear, LPF, or low pass filter, would not be what you would choose. You'd choose HPF, which is high pass filter. High pass filter is for your smaller speakers. Now, depending on what the speakers you're powering, you would choose a corresponding frequency that works well with them. So, for example, if you have like a 6x9 in the door, 70 to 80 would work. If you have a 6.5 in the door, 100 to 80 would probably be good. And if you have a subwoofer on an LPF channel, let's say you have a 5th channel that's going to have low pass, there again, whatever you've put your lowest front at, you'd match the subwoofer up to it. So if you did something like 80 on the front, you'd do 80 for the sub. That's it. Now, very rarely would you ever run full unless you're going into something like a DSP or a radio that has a crossover built into it, where you're going to be doing the crossover someplace else. But the crossover is there to limit the performance of the driver so that you don't blow it. So, for example, there again, if you have a 6.5 in the door and you're playing a ton of bass, you got way more volume now than you had, you could blow the 6.5-inch driver because you're trying to get too much bass out of it. It's not made to do that. Even though you say, well, it says it's rated for 100 watts and I only put 75 watts to it. Yeah, well, it still needs a crossover. Okay. Is there a way to install a deck without a Maestro R and a 2021 Sequoia with JBL? I'm not going to run the stock system components at all. Going to feed via no. So there again, yeah, you could use the pack version of it, the Radio Pro, or you could use the Metro version, which is the Access. It has nothing to do with what you're trying to do. It has everything to do with trying to talk to the vehicle to get the steering wheel controls to work, your backup camera to work, and all those other fun things are what the smart harness does. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to keep your JBL or any of that crap. That's just a side effect of whether you hook those wires up or not. It's all the data stuff that goes into the radio, which is why you need that. Now, if you're like, I'm not going to do steering wheel controls and I don't care about my backup camera, yeah, hook up power ground and remote or power ground and accessory, call it a day. None of the features on the radio will do anything, so you won't have illumination, you won't have any of that other stuff. But hey, it'll turn on. So just get one. Just get one. But you don't have to do an RR. PAC makes low price alternatives, and so does Metro. Just kind of no fun.
Especially in this, 2021 vehicle.
Yeah,
you have to.
It's very, very important.
Super.
Yes. Just looking to do a front two-way and sub. So you want a 5-channel then. And then you're going to use the high pass for all your high pass speakers and your sub for sub. I've seen quite a few on waterproof fuse holders get all corroded and messed up. I tried to go waterproof if possible, not 100% necessary, but still good to do. I mean, sure. I just go on what we do. We do hundreds and hundreds of fuse holders, thousands a year, it seems like.
Yeah.
Over my lifetime, God, I can't even think. And we just don't see corroded fuse holders. Now, if they're cheap, crappy fuse holders, that's like another
CCA
story.
Wire and things like that, yes.
Yeah, but
no.
For our installs that we do using, the Stinger or the T-Spec, we don't have any problems.
Yeah.
So that's all. And they try they're semi-water. They're not. They have gaskets and crap, but they never work. So.
But, if they find one, yes, it's good.
Yeah. Because most people end up going with the 2 bolts with the cover. I think a la Steve Mead's prettier versions of that. Those are not waterproof.
Right.
We've never had those waterproof.
I don't think we have a fuse holder that is waterproof.
Well, no, technically they're supposed to be waterproof. They're just not waterproof.
They're water resistant. They're not waterproof. Nothing is waterproof.
It's so proof, man. It's all the proof.
All right.
Can I go with an easy one? It says, you two are great resources. Thank you for answers. And correct. I'm not trying for SQ. Just want bass. Just want to shake. Don't we all? Just want to shake.
All right. This is my last one that I have here in the queue.
How do I go about level matching each speaker after I EQ with the DSP? So you kind of do it at the same time. So level matching is done with equalization. All right. So for example, when I'm DSPing a car and I start with the passenger front tweeter, I'm going to tune the passenger front tweeter first. I'm going to make it look the way I want it to look. Okay. And I'm going to take a screenshot of my DMRTA and I'm going to pull that up as a ghosted image in the background. And now I'm going to play my driver's front tweeter, shutting off the passenger tweeter. And I'm going to start adjusting my EQ and level at the same time in order to get them to where I need to. Sometimes I'll adjust the level right off the bat because if my tweeter is up here, I will pull the levels down so I can start EQing it. And sometime I'll go back in and add some level depending on how the cut has gone. But I work with both at the same time, both level and EQ at the same time. It's almost impossible to have them match without doing it that way. Now, typically my tweeter on the driver's side is somewhat lower than that of the passenger side, which stands to reason because it is closer to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to adjust level and equalization to get to match my passenger tweeter. I'm going to move on to my mid-range and my mid-bass doing the exact same thing. Now, once I've got them done and I have a tweeter, a mid-range, and mid-bass, that's where I turn on my group adjust, meaning I'll have staggered levels, but I don't want them to change now because I'm going to balance them between my tweeter and my mid-range. So I will group my tweeters together and group my mid-range together, and I will get the levels to where I think those should be. And then I will do the same with my mid-bass, and I'll look at it on my RTA, and I will be like, oh, that's cool. Now, the first thing I do when I get back into the vehicle is I check for time alignment. I check for alignment, and sometimes I'll go back in and I will adjust those levels a little bit more. If I'm doing arc, I can use center point. Now, sometimes I will just adjust delay because I know when he takes a measurement, plus or minus 2 inches on either side could solve the issue. So I will adjust that first, and then if I'm not getting the results I want, I know it's immediately level, so I'll go back in and start adjusting my levels again so that I can move the center channel where I want. And then I will play my tweeters and adjust my mid-range and make sure I feel that's good. I'll play my tweeters and my mid-bass, and I'll play my mid-range and add those back in. And I will sit there and I will play with the levels in group mode for a while. And if I feel my tweeter, my mid-range are good, but it's not working with my mid-bass, I'll group my tweeters and my mid-range together and start playing with them opposed to the mid-bass. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I do is turn on those godforsaken rear speakers and adjust those in so that I can't hear them. And that's so level is something you're constantly screwing with. Mm-hmm. Like always screwing with, because it's never enough. It's never enough. And then when I'm done with everything and I get it the way I want, I might even grab them all, just go till 11. And just because, why not? You know. So it's a lot of fun. Where are we at? Hey guys, that's the show. I'd just like to thank all you guys for giving us great questions tonight. We hope you had a ton of fun. Sorry to hear your bad news, Melissa. That is terrible. Hopefully everything works out for you. But I'd also like to thank Arc Audio, Audio Control, Focal, Moscone, and Clayton for being sponsors of the show. And of course, all you guys for your great questions. I mean, dude, that was like the fastest hour and 12 minutes.
Yes, it was crazy.
Those are spectacular questions. So
and
thank you guys.
If we didn't answer your question, no.
There's always Saturday.
Yes.
And of course, you can find us on the Instagrams. We do Q&A during the week. You know, we have time of 5 minutes of 5-star. We talk about what's happening in the Bay, and if we have time, we answer a few questions. There's always a way for us to answer your questions live, where other people can benefit from your questions, as opposed to just trying to DM me. I will never look at it. You can head over to DNF Tool Drawer, where you can find all the cool stuff, such as the IRTA2, the magical electrical RTA 2 channels that will make your installation so much easier.
Super awesome.
All the questions you ask can be answered with that tool most of the time. We'll go with that. Anyways, that's all we got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a fantastic week. It's Monday. There is so much time in front of us for this week to go sideways.
Oh, man, really?
Can't wait.
How to bring everything down.
Oh, well, it's going to burn it to the ground, man. You guys, pardon me.
Have a wonderful night.
See ya.